It's easy to see the radiant happiness of the princess as she and her very good-looking husband-to-be pose for the cameras in the palace.
The future queen and her dashing naval officer fiancé became engaged in 1947. But theirs was a love story that had begun when Elizabeth was 13 and fell for her distant cousin.
And we may feel certain she has made a choice with her head as well as her heart.
A Greek prince with a commoner's upbringing, Philip was seen as a controversial choice to join the royal family. But romance won. Their wedding would mark the start of the longest royal marriage in history. 5 years later, they would return to Westminster Abbey for the coronation and a new chapter in their relationship.
I, Philip, will become your liege man of life and limb, and of earthly worship. In faith and truth I will bear unto you, to live and die against all manner of folk, so help me God.
Prince Philip was her support. Prince Philip was her soulmate. I think that's the best way to describe him. He was her soulmate, and she was his soulmate as well. They did everything together. They might have had tiffs, they might have had disagreements, but they were a team. They were the archetypal team.
And they needed to be strong, for the Queen's position meant her husband would spend his life in her shadow.
Holidays at Balmoral provide the newsreel record of the children's progress.
Philip also took a leading role in raising their children, leading the Queen to say, "I and his whole family owe him a debt greater than he would ever claim, or we shall ever know."
This is a man who, for decades, always walked a few steps behind the woman he was married to. Now, this is a man who started doing this in the early 1950s, and just think about that. Men at the time then were, we didn't have equality, women were wives, and this is a man who gave up his career, his incredibly flourishing career in the Navy, to basically walk behind his wife and support her and be her consort.
Philip was the one person who truly understood the pressure of the role, and they were said to share the same sense of humour. At the end of long days, courtiers would see the couple in fits of giggles. Not one to publicly speak often of his marriage, Prince Philip did open up briefly at the celebration of his golden wedding anniversary.
I think that the main lesson that we've learned is that tolerance is the one essential ingredient of any happy marriage. It may not be quite so important when things are going well, but it is absolutely vital when things get difficult. And you can take it from me that the Queen has the quality of tolerance and abundance.
The Queen, in turn, reflected on his commitment during her Diamond Jubilee.
Prince Philip is, I believe, well known for declining compliments of any kind. But throughout, he has been a constant strength and guide.
When, at the age of 96, the Duke announced his retirement from public life, he did so with the Queen's full support. Theirs was a partnership that endured. They were married for 73 years, until death parted them. But no longer. With the Queen laid to rest today in the same chapel as her husband, once again, they are by each other's side. Catherine Jones, 5 News.